Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Ethereum is breaking below critical support, while Bitcoin is also breaking below important support, which I'll talk about later in the video, so make sure to watch to the end. First of all, just giving you a really quick update here on the 4-day Bitcoin chart, and right now the price of Bitcoin is technically still within the larger bullish trend here on the larger timeframes, but obviously in the shorter term we're still playing out a short-term pullback, which on smaller timeframes looks more like a short-term bearish trend, and that short-term bearish price action playing out right now is mainly caused by these bearish divergences here on the 4-day timeframe and also on the daily chart, which I'll talk about in just a moment. But it is important to understand that just because this bearish divergence is currently playing out, meaning we're seeing some bearish price action in the shorter term, this does not necessarily invalidate the larger bullish trend, because technically speaking, we're still seeing significant higher lows and higher highs here in the price of Bitcoin on the 4-day time frame. And on top of that, if you're looking at the super trend indicator, this is still currently sitting in the green, and the point of invalidation for this indicator, which is basically the point where this indicator would reverse from bullish back to bearish, would be if we see a confirmed break back below around $25,000. So once again, 25k is the invalidation point for the larger bullish trend. So once again, if we see a confirmed break below that level, then I'll start to flip much more bearish again on the larger timeframes. But anyway, if you're zooming into the daily Bitcoin chart, once again, as I just mentioned, and as I've been saying almost every day over the last 3 weeks or so, we currently have a bearish divergence playing out here on the daily time frame, which once again means we should not be expecting any significant bullish momentum just in the short term, and instead it's very likely we're going to see either some choppy sideways price action, if not a slight pullback in the short term, just like what we've seen over the last few weeks as expected. And considering the fact that the daily Bitcoin RSI is still currently trending to the downside, as with the price action, I continue to expect this to play out, because as of right now, this bearish divergence is still valid. But if we start to see more of a reversal in the RSI, forming higher lows and higher highs, and more importantly, breaking out back to the upside above this descending line of resistance, then in that case, I'll start to flip a little bit more bullish again, because that would be an invalidation signal for the previous bearish divergence. But once again, as of right now, we have not confirmed any invalidation signal for the bearish divergence, which means it's still currently active, so we're still looking slightly more bearish than bullish in the shorter term. But with that being said, if you're looking at the momentum here in the MACD, as of right now, this is still showing very low momentum, which means we should not be expecting a significant movement here in the imminent short term. And instead, once again, as I've been saying recently on the channel, we should be expecting relatively mild price action, nothing too significant. And now staying on the daily time frame, and right now the price of Bitcoin is still technically forming a potential falling wedge pattern, which is technically a bullish pattern. But with that being said, this pattern is not confirmed as of right now, because we have not yet seen a confirmed breakout above this descending line of resistance, which is sitting at around 29.3k approximately. And as for support, this level of support right now is sitting at around 28.6k. So basically, if we see a break below 28.6k, then obviously that would be a bearish signal and basically invalidate this pattern. But if we actually see a bounce back to the upside and confirm a breakout back above that resistance that I just mentioned, then in that case, that would set up a technical price target at the top of the wedge, sitting at around 31,500. But once again, as I just said earlier, it is important to understand that that technical price target only comes into play if we first confirm a breakout from this pattern. And now staying on the daily time frame again, taking a look at this massive ascending line of support, which is sitting at around 28,500. And as I explained in more detail in my last video on the channel, if we see a confirmed break below that ascending line of support, then that would be a fairly strong bearish signal, and in that case, that would basically signal a continued short-term bearish trend, kind of like what we've seen over the last few weeks, but continued potentially over the next few weeks if we obviously confirm a break below that support. But as of right now, that has not yet happened. So of course, it still remains a possibility that we could end up seeing a significant bounce from that level of support as we've seen some of these previous times. So basically in the coming days, possibly over the next 1 week, this will be a deciding moment for the price of Bitcoin, at least in the shorter term. And now if you're looking at the 8-hour Bitcoin chart right now, as of recording this video, we have just recently seen an 8-hour candle close confirm below this line of support, which is the 38.2% Fibonacci level, sitting at around 28.9k. And so technically speaking, this is a short-term bearish signal. And if we do not invalidate this break to the downside soon, meaning if we stay below that line of support, then we would likely soon see a continued move to the downside towards the 50% retracement level, which is sitting at around 28,000 to 28.1k approximately. And in order to invalidate that break to the downside below the 38.2% Fibonacci level, we would need to see a confirmed break back above that level with some candle closes back above that level, which as of right now has not yet happened. So once again, we're technically still looking more bearish than bullish, at least in the shorter term here, because the price is currently within a shorter term bearish trend. But once again, this is all currently occurring within a much larger multi-month long bullish trend here on the larger timeframes. But anyway, now getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this is on the daily ETH to US dollar chart. And right now, the price of ETH is running into this important area of support, sitting in between around 1770 to 1820. And if you're looking at the daily Ethereum price oscillators, as of right now, the daily Ethereum RSI is looking slightly more bearish because we are breaking into new lows. But if you're looking at the daily Ethereum MACD, this is still showing somewhat limited momentum, meaning we should not necessarily expect a massive movement here in the shorter term. And instead, like I've been saying recently on the channel, we're likely going to see a relatively mild price action, as in most likely some choppy sideways price action, if not a slight pullback like what we've seen just recently. And now if you're zooming into the 8-hour ETH to US dollar chart, looking at the Fibonacci retracement tool, we have just seen an 8-hour candle close below the 50% retracement level, which is sitting at around 1820 to 1830 approximately. And so technically speaking, because we've seen a candle close below that support, this is one confirmation signal confirming a break to the downside, which is technically a bearish signal. And the next important support to pay attention to here on the 8-hour time frame is the golden pocket, sitting in between around 1760 to 1770 approximately. And in order to invalidate this short-term break to the downside, once again, we would need to see a confirmed break back above around 1830 with candle closes back above that level. But at least for now, that has not yet happened. So once again, as of right now, we're still currently looking more bearish than bullish just in the shorter term. But if we actually saw a breakout back above around 1830, then in that case, we also have some strong resistance up here, sitting at around 1870 to 1880. And if you're zooming into the 4-hour ETH to US dollar chart, we also have this descending line of resistance sitting at approximately 1840 to 1850. And so once again, even if we see a bounce back to the upside in the short term, we still have a lot of resistance to pay attention to. And now, if you want to know how to maximize your profits in crypto, no matter if the price is going to the upside, to the downside, or simply chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how to make money if the price is bullish or bearish using AI, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.